You know, driving up here today, when Clark and I were driving up here, I got on the phone with a friend of mine and I was telling him, you know what, man, I'm really excited to be going back here. I'm excited about my excitement even.
You know, I'm often asked if I made the right choice in choosing a university, and without a doubt, I made the right choice.
I made a good choice, and I'm proud of my choice, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Because even the tough times have made me into the man that I am today. And I'm all about giving back, and that's a part of why we're here this weekend.
You know, when you think back to the '86 team, it wasn't just a great team on the field, but we were a great team of people that loved to work together.
Ladies and gentlemen of Penn State, thank you and welcome back to the members of the 1986 National Championship team.
What was special about our group, I think, is that you had a lot of guys rowing in the right direction. People who were high school All-Americans came to Penn State, and they kind of checked their egos at the door.
I got a chance to meet a great group of guys who took me under their wings and showed me, you know, the Penn State way.
We were really a band of brothers for real, because we understood that in order to win on Saturday, we had to make one another better.
You know, we wasn't the flashiest out there, but we stuck together as a team and played together as a team. And that's why we had great success.
The least favorite moment was obviously losing in the Orange Bowl against Oklahoma in '85.
We cried my freshman year against Oklahoma together. We made a vow together that year that it wasn't going to happen again, and we came back the following year, wound up 11-0, and in that same position again to play for a national championship. That made us family.
It's a lifetime thing. It's not fake, it's true. I mean, these are the guys you played with, you were in the trenches.
There's not any place I wouldn't go with those guys, because it's always about security and knowing that those guys have your back and that you can trust them. That's what this thing has been about, and that's what it continues to be about.
You know, when times are good, you know, you're together. When times are bad, you know, you're together.
And there were times when in camp, that leading into that season, it was just gut check time. And Steve was one of those guys who was he was a boisterous dude, and he would tell it exactly the way it is.
It's tough love sometimes. Sometimes he's brutally honest, even if it hurts you. But you need one of your friends to tell you things brutally honest to get your attention.
For someone who's never met Steve Smith, he's one of those guys where, you know, you feel like you're a better person for meeting him. Certainly for the guys that played with Steve, you know, we're all very fortunate to know him.
Ladies and gentlemen of Penn State, thank you and welcome back to the members of the 1986 National Championship team.
Love is waking up in the morning, looking at your child and telling them that you love them, and giving them advice on life, even if that child thinks he knows everything or whatever. Love is being sick, bedridden, not be able to talk, walk, or anything, and still be able to make it out to one of my football games. Yeah, I mean, love is what's keeping my dad alive.
Coming out of high school, Steve was a parade All-America. He could not have made a better choice, not only in terms of football, but the entire Penn State experience. It's been something that helped to develop him, not only as an athlete, but as a person. It is an integral part of the Smith family and Steve's experience growing up.
Man, the first time I met Steve Smith, was in the locker room.
He was a jokester. He was always the guy who could rib you really good but make you laugh.
All he did was talk. He talked and laughed and talked and laughed. And I just said, I was from New Jersey, and I'm like, who's this guy? What is he saying?
When we first came in, as freshmen, he was pretty big.
6'2", 235-pound guy, fearless.
With Tim Manoa and Steve Smith, the Lions could unleash a pair of tanks who could run, block, and catch with anyone in the country.
You know, he walked before he talked. And if you couldn't follow his walk, then he would have something to say to you.
Block anybody for you and made a big opening. You can drive a tractor trailer through.
He was one of those guys who was a Penn State guy where, you know, he gave up a lot of his own individual accomplishments, so to speak, to kind of fit in with the team. And you know, whatever was asked of him, you know, he would do it, and he would do it unflinchingly.
Smith, touchdown, Penn State.
Just an honest and dear friend, and I love him with all my heart.
Pass to Smith, inside the 30, there goes Smith again, down the sideline, touchdown. Again, Steve Smith, the fullback.
I believe it came on after he retired from the NFL. He moved down in Jonesboro, Georgia. I would go down and visit him with my family and our kids, because our kids were around the same age. And he would talk to me on the phone. He would complain about, you know, losing his balance, his feet feeling like he's stepping on sponges, and he just was, you know, he was concerned.
When Steve was diagnosed, you know, we were all shocked because he's such a strong, powerful guy, and to see him physically now, it's really difficult.
In the beginning, when he first took on the disease, it was kind of hard for me, you know, because I never imagined him being in that state, and it was very hard for me to adapt to it first, because every time I would see him, it would just bring tears to my eyes. So I just told myself, you just got to be strong. Steve wants me to be strong, so that's how it is. I got to be strong, and I got to hang right in there with him and get through this.
I'm still the same dad I had before, still really supportive, still lectures me, sits me down, you know, gives me a hard time. But yeah, it's kind of like a prisoner in his own body type of thing.
To see him physically now, it's really difficult, but the fact is his mind is very, very sharp, and to have, you know, so many people rally around him, it was just about, you know, kind of getting the word out that, hey, he might need some help, and, you know, I'm very proud to say that, you know, there's so many guys have tried to help.
And really, Penn State has really helped my family out. This last 8 years have been pretty rough. They've done a lot of fundraising for us. We get a lot of fan mail, just asking about how my dad's doing. So really, it's kind of it's honestly almost like a family thing with Penn State.
The support for Steve is not surprising, you know, given, you know, what Penn State is all about. Penn State is not about one person overshadowing somebody else. It's about teamwork, and it's about people trying to lift up other people and trying to help other people, you know, do better every single day.
I didn't go here, but at the same time, they've had a big part in helping our family out the last 8 years. And I really, really appreciate it. I don't think we would have been able to make it the same way without Penn State.
Penn State pride is something that is absolutely real. The support that they provided Steve and the entire Smith family has been ongoing, nonstop, and it's been something that has been an inspiration, and it's something that we don't take for granted, and it's more special than I can put in words.
You know, he speaks about when I beat this. When I beat this. I mean, that's incredible. Never give up, man. Jimmy Valvano said it a long time ago, but Steve is the epitome of that. Love him, man.
What is love? Love is when you're diagnosed with ALS and you don't give up because you want to be there with your family. My dad has shown me that, and I'm gonna carry that on and show my son the same thing.